Right here today at 5, former President Jimmy Carter, the 39th U.S. president, being laid to rest later today in his hometown of Plains, Georgia. His body was flown there for the final time just hours after the national funeral service held at the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C., carried live right here on WHAS 11 and ABC News this morning. Here's ABC's Rena Roy in Plains with the new details.
Former President Jimmy Carter coming home to Georgia for the final time. Today, tributes in the tiny town of Plains at the Baptist church where Jimmy Carter taught Sunday school for all the years after the White House, a small private funeral. At the National Cathedral in Washington, D.C. this morning, a state funeral.
He may be gone, but he's not gone far. The outpouring of love and support that we have felt from you and from around the world shows how many lives he has touched and how his spirit will live on in many ways for us.
All 5 living presidents there.
Because of patriots like Jimmy Carter. Throughout his life, he showed us what it means to be a practitioner of good works and a good and faithful servant of God and of the people.
Here in Plains, an outpouring of love where Carter's life began 100 years ago on a rural farm where a bell used to wake him up an hour before dawn. The peanut farmer who became the 39th president.
I, Jimmy Carter, do solemnly swear.
Taking the oath of office in January of 1977, serving just 1 term, but perhaps most celebrated for the humanitarian work he did for decades after his presidency as the longest-lived U.S. president. Today, his family burying him next to his beloved wife, Rosalind, near their humble home in a place they both picked out.
As he returned to Plains, Georgia, for his final resting place, we can say goodbye. Jimmy Carter did justly, loved mercy, walked humbly. May God bless a great American, a dear friend, and a good man.
Rena Roy, ABC News, Plains, Georgia.